conceited, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
What is up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's your boy Eddie Collins,
Guys, this is Justin Brown.
and we are Media and Popcorn spoiling movies. But you already knew that because you heard Justin's sultry voice and my crazy ad libs, and it's getting crazy out here. But we have a very, very special guest. I met this person recently at the Afro and Latino Short Film Festival in Manhattan. Jamel Lewis, how the hell are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Very lovely to be here with everyone from you, Brandon, Justin, and Lluvia.
Of course. And you got your little game chair. You got a professional mic. You got a whole setup. Do you do voiceover work?
You noticed. I didn't think it'd be that apparent.
Yeah, man. Everybody, any person that has like a good monitor or like a game controller knows that kind of seat. Yeah.
Yeah, COVID was very long, and so I was like, let me try my hand at streaming. Maybe that'd be great. And I did it for a while, and then everything just picked up again. And so I don't get to game as much as I used to, but I clearly held on to everything.
Well, I mean, if you bought it, you ain't getting rid of it,
Yeah, why would you?
That's a fact.
Yeah, why would you? I mean, what was the big game that you played during the pandemic?
That is, I played a couple of things. I tried my hand at Overwatch. I used to play that for a very long time.
Okay.
Games like Overwatch that are very popular, you kind of have to already have a following for people to kind of start joining your stream, or for like people to kind of like raid your streams with viewers. And just
I thought you were about to say racism. Because people were doing that, just jumping on streams, just saying wild stuff. I was just like, oh,
yes, that is so rampant. But fortunately, it didn't fill my chat way too much. But so like Overwatch didn't work out, and then I found a game called Dead or Alive, and are you guys familiar?
That's a zombie game, right? Or no? Is that not the zombie game I'm thinking about?
Left 4 Dead.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking about.
So Dead or Alive, that's a fighting game?
As well. But Dead or Alive is a fighting game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I know
Okay,
exactly
now I know
what
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I thought it was so fun. I know real fighting game fans are not huge fans of it, but it was so niche and not a whole lot of people played it. So I got so many viewers when playing that game.
I connect with that, man. Because back in the day, I used to play. Everyone was about Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I was all about Virtua Fighter, and no one ever talked about Virtua Fighter. I'm like, man, this game, it doesn't have a plot, but the characters I thought were cooler. Like I just enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And I think I'm in the same boat. I thought the characters in Dead or Alive were so cool, and maybe that was because like Street Fighter had been around for so long. Like we've all known Street Fighter since we were children, right? And so I wasn't all that taken with it. And my best friend, he tried to have me play Street Fighter and stuff like that. And it was so hard. Like I didn't grow up as a gamer, but like the semicircle and everything was so difficult. And
especially when you're playing against people that play it all the time. That's the thing. Like you get hustled like a pool hall playing fighting games sometimes.
Like facts, like you get people get you in these endless combos, and before you know it, like the game has barely started and you've already lost. And like people have been playing this since day one, and I was like, no way. But Dead or Alive felt like I could play as a newbie and play as like an expert. So like I felt like there were a little more training wheels on that.
Dead or Alive, that was on 360, right?
That was across all platforms. I think
was it? Okay, yeah, I think that's where I used to play it. Didn't they have like Hayabasa and stuff like that?
Hayabusa, yeah, right? Hayabusa Tatsumi, Jan Lee was my boy. Rig, all the characters, yeah. Can you tell I was a fan? I played a lot, and I think as I rose in rank and as I got better at the game, people were more willing to pull underhanded things to win in ranked matches.
Yep.
And so I started to realize I was getting more stressed out playing the game. And so I said, I think this is where I put this down. Because it wasn't a release anymore. I wasn't enjoying it. I was upset because people were getting petty or doing like moves like repeatedly if they knew you couldn't like combo it, which obviously was a skill issue on my end. I couldn't figure out how to how to counter it. But I just found myself like worrying about my rank and all that. So I put it down and I haven't touched it in a very long time.
So I actually got like that with Madden.
Oh.
I became, I don't, well, it's probably because of college. I got really good at Madden. Because we used to run Madden tournaments all the time, to the point where I got invited to the official Madden tournament because I was like ranked like 100 in all of like Madden Xbox at the time. So I got invited to the Madden tournament, and I was just like, but then I started, facing these guys who were ranked like in the top 20 and things like that. I think the highest I got was like I think I was like the top 30. And then I started, facing those guys like in the top 20, the top 10s, and all they did was cheese. It was all, and I was just like,
yes,
I'm not going because this is all I'm gonna face. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, they're gonna annihilate you, man. That's the thing is, when you play with like people that they breathe the game or whatever the platform is, it's a whole other level. Because then you're just like, you're not even having fun anymore. To Jamel's point, you're just like,
exactly.
Y'all came for blood. I came, I came for fun.
It's not even that they're playing for blood, or it's they just learn every single cheese glitch and stuff like that in the game, and that's all they do. That's all they do.
They know how to win. They know how to play properly. They choose not to. And I think that's what bothered me the most, right? Like they learn the ins and outs of the game and they will do whatever it takes to win, even if it's underhanded. And I was like, that's not for me.
Now, hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Like I knew that they were cheesing when like it seemed like people up front were playing normal. And then once I started to pull away, they were just like, "Oh no!" And then all of a sudden, we just go to Cheese Town. Like I had it was infuriating. It was really infuriating.
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
that was it. And I tried that. I tried that exact same thing. You guys ever play Call of Duty?
Oh yep.
Oh
yep,
yeah.
Yep.
When I was in high school, this kid I met, he said that he was doing something similar. Like he was invited to like these official like Call of Duty groups and he was making money from it. And I was like, I want to do that. I can do that. And like I got to the point where I was doing like 30-2, right? Like 30 kills and 2 deaths. And people were friend requesting me every game. And I was playing the game all day, every day. And even as like a 15-year-old, I was like, I think I need to reevaluate my options. I think I'm getting again a little stressed out doing this, and it's all I do. Let me try out some other things, and so I just.
So you got an obsessive personality.
Yeah, I hear that.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. It's so funny you say that. Yeah, because that is my thing, and that is how I've ended up on the filmmaking side of things. As starting as an actor and then going to filmmaking. That's exactly where I ended up. But,
awesome. Yeah, that's a great segue into like like what you're currently working on and stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you. So I started as an actor, as you guys know. And I went to Lambda for a little bit in London, and it was the absolute time of my life.
Jolly good
London,
time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
London.
I've never heard anyone in London say that to me. I don't know why you brought that up. That's crazy.
Also, Brandon has the worst accents on the face.
I have terrible
so
accents. I just did I tried to do my Jay-Z impression at a live comedy event the other night. Yeah, Justin, that was the audience response.
Baby water in the bathtub.
It was bad. It was real bad.
I regret that I missed that. If that's recorded, please send that.
No, it wasn't. That's why I did it.
No.
But Jamel, you were saying you were an actor and you went to London to study and everything. Okay.
Yeah, and London is one of my favorite places.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to live there full time, and I'm actually pretty okay with that.
Okay.
Nowadays, I'm meeting more and more people who don't like the cold. I know people who are like going to warmer places like Mexico or Florida to like be there for the cold months. But I don't mind the rainy weather. I don't mind the cold. I just kind of I was okay like just dressing for the occasion.
A pea coat will help you out with that. A good pea coat.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I ended up as acting for some years. I noticed that we were missing something in the industry. and some of my favorite films I've realized are spy films, right?
Okay.
Espionage and like Kingsman: The Secret Service, Mission Impossible, right? The TV show Slow Horses,
Mhm.
phenomenal TV
I've heard
show.
great things. Yeah.
Right, and those all have some degree of action to them, right? Even on the flip side of things, which I hear is the more accurate representation of espionage, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, right? Nominated
Yeah.
for BAFTAs, Oscars, all great. However, they all have one thing in common: no
Gary
sugar.
Oldman. I'm sorry. He's in Tinker Tailor's Slow Horses.
Wait,
But
you're right.
that's the
Yes.
movie nerd in me couldn't resist. But yes.
And I was like, I need to make no. So yeah, so yes, all the leads were of Caucasian descent. Nothing wrong with them. We love these movies through and through. But at some point, I said I would love a lead, a mainstay spy that looks like me, but one that was competent at his job, one that didn't die at the end or halfway through the story, one that didn't turn out to be the villain. Right? I wanted an Eggsy. I wanted an Ethan Hunt. And so I was like, I wanted like a River Cartwright, right? And so I was like, let me just write like that role for myself, right? And so I got to writing, started conceptualizing this thing in December of 2023. And I kind of took my time. I was just like, let me see what naturally comes to me. And I eventually took it to my lovely script consultant, Katie White, and she was like, okay, wait, you actually have something here. And so, and then I started taking it around to other people, and another a good friend and mentor of mine, he said, okay, wait, this is great. If you want to take this from like an if it'll get made to a when, you should cast a known actor in the role. And it just so happened I met Chukwudi Iwuji just a couple of months before. And Chukwudi's name came up in the conversation. And so
Fantastic
I gave Chukwudi
actor.
a call.
That like when I saw you were like he was involved in your proof of concept, I'm like, oh, that's awesome because
Thank
he's been
you.
killing it.
Yep.
I'm so glad that you see that as well. Like you've seen him in Guardians, in Peacemaker. Have you seen him in Day of the Jackal?
I haven't.
No.
I don't. It's weird because that's on Peacock, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, like it's funny because Peacock, I just go to like the reality TV and like Law and Order. That's like my comfort blanket and stuff. But I'll check it out though because I've heard good things.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that. But like, yeah, Day of the Jackal is fantastic. Lashana Lynch and Eddie Redmayne are the leads, but Chukwudi's in every episode. And I remember, of course, I have a little bit of a bias towards Chukwudi right now, but I remember because I thought when I had first looked up the show, all the information wasn't out on IMDb yet, and so it said he was only in one episode, and I was like, oh my god, that sucks. And so on episode 2, it's everything's happening, loving it. I am loving it, but I was like, you know what? I want to see more Chuck. And then boom, he walks in, and I said, oh, this is fantastic. He's in every episode. And so and he absolutely kills it. He kills everything he does. And when I went to go see him live in Cyrano de Bergerac at the Pasadena Playhouse in California, like rarely for a play is my jaw on the floor the entire time. He just his handle over the words. The fact that he was able to rapidly fire off classical text while doing fight choreography, I was like, oh no, this is our guy, absolutely. And so him and I got to chatting. We we had coffee and we talked about it, and he from there the rest is history, right? Snowball effect, and now we're fortunate to have a whole team behind us. That have so many people supporting us. And interested from the jump, interested in this idea, like our lovely stunt coordinator, and the other actors and actresses. Like, I think you might have seen like Keith David is part of this, and
let's
again,
go.
he's a mentor of mine as well, and he's amazing at everything he does. An even better human being.
He doesn't like portable chargers, though. I learned that the hard way when I was in grad school. I randomly met him at Radio Shack. I've said the story before on the podcast. And he's got that smooth, deep voice, right?
Yes, he
and
does.
he came in looking for a charger for his cell phone at Radio Shack. They don't just have like a charger Like you have to get like a universal plug that then you put onto another like cord that plugs
Yes.
into the wall, right? It has to
Yes.
fit your phone. And so
Yes.
I walked him through the steps. I found the charger for his phone. And I was like, you gotta take this tip and put it on this thing, and then you plug that in. And then he
Yeah.
looked at me, he was like, you really think I'm gonna do all that? And I was like, no, sir. No, sir. And then he left.
That
I don't know
funny
why
thing, I could see his face as he's saying it. You really
literally,
think I'm gonna do all that?
that's him. But you know what? All I will say is he has learned his lesson from that.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you were gonna say like, yeah, like he has chargers with him all the time now. So.
He does.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
We were having dinner one day, and he pulled out a portable charger, and so yeah. But
yeah, man,
with that being
it.
said, like Chukwudi and Keith, they brought this life and this gravitas to these roles that I hadn't even imagined when I was writing it, right? Because when I wrote it for myself, and obviously it would have been a younger spy who's probably just getting into the game, a little more cocky. But the way Chukwudi played it, the way we talked about it when we brought him on board, he already had so many ideas for the character, and he was like, obviously I'm a little older than you, and he said, I really like the idea of this guy being older and aging, and everything doesn't feel as good as it used to. His knees hurt, right? And he wears soft-soled shoes, and so I don't know if you saw that in the proof of concept, but like he's not wearing these slick Oxfords. He's wearing something that feels fine when he walks, or he makes a hard landing, right? And so we had a great costume designer for it as well. Like we all worked together to develop this character down to his shoes, right? The accent, the shoes. And so that's just, again, how deep Chukwudi dove into this character. He was just so committed every step of the way. He was amazing. And just played a very different character in an even better way than I would have played. But you know what? Like, I can't imagine anyone else for this role. And so the proof of concept, like, between the actors, the stunts, because we had a great stunt team, like Khalif, our stunt coordinator, he brought on his entire stunt team, and they just killed it. They just absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, I love that. And the proof of concept is amazing, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing where it goes from there. Because when you bring up stunt work, that's the one thing that actually rewatching Now You See Me, that's what we're talking about, folks. That's the movie. When I saw Now You See Me, I was like, oh, the stunt work is actually really good in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, the smoothness, but to your point though about the attire that your main character in your proof of concept wears, these guys are in suits and Woody Harrelson has a top hat, and I'm like, you guys are flipping around trying to evade the feds. Interpol, what are we doing? Like,
yeah. As a one final note before we get into that, if I may, is that you mentioned you look forward to seeing where it goes. So it's being developed as a TV series now, and so
okay,
let's
go.
Let's go. So we have some work on that.
We need more Black television.
Thank you. That's exactly why I wrote it.
And if you need other writers in the writers' room, I'm your boy.
Yes. Okay. Hey, I saw that you just got international. What was that?
International Screenwriters Association development slate, baby. Yeah.
Association. Congratulations. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
And if you need somebody to take a punch, I'm here. This face
takes
punches.
Okay. But I got you.
Let me also just say, like, I love the fact that on this podcast we're hearing about Black collaboration. You know what I'm saying? I think for the most part we always hear about how we can't get it together and how we're so divided. But you're showing that Black artists are collaborating together and making something happen, and like that's beautiful, and like that's everything that I want to see in the business right now and just in the future. We need more of that. We need people like, riding for each other. And like, so kudos to you. Kudos to the whole fucking team, because that's what we want.
Thank you. Yeah, they were really amazing. And like, even my assistant director, he was Black, right? And the cast and everything. So I'm really proud of what we did. And we just gotten great reviews, right? Like, and so it's a transition, right? Like, if I may ask, aside from Morgan Freeman, like, how many Black people are in Now You See Me?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, Morgan Freeman is one of the blackest people you could get from Hollywood. But But the thing is,
I mean,
but to that point though, I was actually
and the
that was
poor
one of my
black woman that
notes.
stood up in the crowd.
Well, yeah,
Who had the least money in the entire room, and that's what really gets me going.
Yep.
Like, she didn't have to. She did not have to have that little money.
She
in her
like,
account
how much
compared to
will you have
everyone
in your
else.
account? $5 and a nickel. Like what? Why you have to say it like that? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
it's like, and
I mean,
and it broke my heart, especially where I am in my life right now. The way she kind of looked down and said, "Yeah, that's what I got." It's like I know, but
And they
again,
only gave her $70,000.
What?
I think somebody else $200,000.
no, that's the crazy. I'm sorry, so sorry. I get so passionate about this. Right, she had the least to start and had the least to end up with. You know what I mean? And so
Yes,
that's what I'm
society.
talking about. Right, and does it reflect society? Yes, but that's why we do what we do. That's why I wrote my project, right? Is to change the status quo. Like, it doesn't have to be stereotypical, right? Like your black lead or your black characters can be better off than how society typically perceives them.
What,
You know?
what's wild is one of the writers of this script. He's an Israeli American filmmaker named Boz Yakin, but he directed Remember the Titans, so he knows black actors. He knows the black actor in Denzel. Like, we couldn't switch it up a little bit, like, because that's one big note I have for the movie is like, yeah, this is a fun movie, like for the most part, but you can. Well, that's the thing. Well, I thought it was fun. I think it drags randomly for no reason because of I think Melanie Laurent wasn't well served here. I think this is back when after she did Inglourious Basterds, and they were putting her in everything, and like they just couldn't find the right role after Inglourious Basterds that was a good fit for her.
Fair,
but like I was like, there could be 4 black horsemen, magicians that are doing this shit. We would get,
Why not?
they would put us in jail real quick. I mean, that's the thing. It could be a fun, like, you could do a fun set piece with that. But, I think that the one thing that was just driving me crazy is like, okay, you're in New York, you're in London, you're global, and there's very few people of color around you, except Morgan Freeman, who keeps popping up. I was just
and he
goes in jail.
He does end up in jail.
He goes to jail.
And Mark Ruffalo's like, I want you surrounded by 4 walls.
Yeah, and to your point, like one of the writers, like Ed Solomon, I think he also wrote like for Men in Black as well. And so again, like the status quo could have easily been changed.
Remember, Men in Black was going to be a white guy.
Yeah, and then Will Smith came into the picture.
Yeah.
Right, and so to play the devil's advocate as to why none of the leads were black, are we in agreement that Now You See Me is like the love child of The Prestige and Catch Me If You Can, dialed up to an 11?
Oh, those are good comps. Those are really good comps. I mean, for me, like Prestige, like regardless of Nolan's filmography, I think it's one of his most underrated films. I think it's because it's so dark, actually, like compared to what he usually does. Like, like the ending is like really haunting and that's a great Hugh Jackman performance, by the way.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I don't think I realized that Christopher Nolan had directed it until the very end, and his name popped up on the screen. But like you said, it's really dark. It doesn't end on a very hopeful note. But I think it ties all the loose ends up really well. But like there are a lot of striking similarities. Like the FBI agent chasing that wasn't Catch Me If You Can, like the FBI agent chasing the perp, right? But from The Prestige, like the 2 magicians who are not on the greatest of terms, right? Even though Morgan Freeman was like a magician, but he was like kind of ousting other magicians. And then Mark Ruffalo, Dylan Rhodes, who was formerly Dylan Shrike, right? By the end, he gets him at the end.
Yeah. I like the plot twist with Mark Ruffalo, but the only thing is I was like, how did he have the bandwidth to do all this? You know what I mean? Like, he is a full-time FBI agent with like an Interpol partner, and he is somehow orchestrating all of this. Like, there had to be more of one of him. Like, I thought that was going to be the twist on top of the twist. It's like, there's 2 of them because there was just no way logistically he could have done what he did.
That would have been pretty cool. I also think like the synopsis like defines him and Alma, the Interpol agent, as the leads. But it definitely, and correct me if I'm wrong, it definitely felt like the 4 horsemen, especially Jesse Eisenberg's character Daniel, were more the leads, right?
Yeah, we opened on Daniel, and I think we closed on Daniel. Like, he's our lead. Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like if maybe, because again, like it felt like the big twist should have been a bigger plot point.
Mhm.
And so I feel like if we had spent more time with Dylan, Mark Ruffalo's character, then I think maybe an interesting plot like that could have been brought up. Like, because again, like he had a lot of plates spinning in the air, right? Like trying to lead the horsemen, what these like the stick to the plan, right? These plans to get to the eye, how to get the eye, and keeping like stringing Alma along, and then also like his revenge story. That's a good point. That's a huge bandwidth.
There's a lot going on, and on top of that, like I actually really like Dave Franco in this movie. I thought it was like a good breakout role for him, like compared to he finally got out of his brother's shadow a little bit with this one because like it's not a comedy, right? So he's like kind of like the Matt Damon Ocean's 11 to this team in this movie, right? He's like the youngin that's like got his own skill set, and that fight scene between him and Ruffalo's character, though, I'm like, there's a scenario where he kills Ruffalo. You know what I mean?
Well,
And like he's the guy who's getting like who is behind everything. I'm like, oh, so you could have actually taken out the dude that you're trying to impress to get into the eye. Like, what's
so also, all right, I got to get this out of the way. Jesse Eisenberg, Dave Franco, switch roles. Absolutely not. Jesse Eisenberg should not have been the main guy.
I thought he was fine.
I don't think so. I'm not impressed with Jesse Eisenberg. I've never been impressed with him in anything he's done.
Even Social Network?
Anything like not even the Social Network?
No, wasn't it?
Well, Justin's a horror critic. He's notoriously a horror critic.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's also just the fact is like Jesse Eisenberg's stick was just doesn't speak to me. That it's like I'm the smartest guy in the room. Da 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 da. You know, like I just hate that. But I know that's the writing for the most part. But it's like
that is almost kind of his thing, right?
Yeah.
Like between the three movies, for instance, like Now You See Me, The Social Network, The Smartest Guy in the Room, and then
Superman.
And then like as Lex Luthor, right?
Zombieland. Yeah, I mean it works sometimes, and then sometimes it's a misfire. Like I thought he was really getting a real pain, but to that point, like he and Kieran Culkin were kind of doing their thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like anything greatly different from what they've already displayed before.
So, but this is the thing is also they kind of played Jesse Eisenberg as like he's fucking the Ryan Gosling of fucking of magic.
He's a magician. No. Dude, I've seen guys get girls from doing way less impressive.
So here's the thing.
I've seen dudes get laid just from doing a good karaoke song. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Hold on. Who's the? There's a famous fucking magician.
Chris Angel.
Chris Angel.
Just put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the Hamptons, and Chris Angel popped up and tried to riz these girls that I was with. Chris Angel doing magic in the Hamptons. He failed so miserably, and I was there. I saw it.
So you have first-hand experience.
Yeah, it does not work. It
Sometimes
does not
have
work.
a bad day. You know what I mean?
No.
Angel put the face of a card on the side of a building.
I understand that, but they ain't going home with him. They ain't going home with him.
Sometimes you don't have to go home. You just got to find a room. You know what I mean?
Listen.
You don't got to go home. Sometimes that could be too far. You know,
it's
don't want to ruin the
there's
moment.
alleys everywhere in New York. Jesus Christ, Brandon.
Alleys, jeez.
That's
like
crazy.
You just said. Absolutely crazy thing to say.
Yeah, Justin just said insane.
But Lluvia's co-signing, she would not be impressed by magic. So, with that being said, maybe Jesse Eisenberg like being the hot guy who can get somebody with magic might not be all that plausible.
Yeah, so it's like Dave Franco's right there.
So to your point, saying like they switch roles. I could have believed that very well. But with that being said, like the writing and even the way it was shot, did you guys also kind of pick up like first half of the movie was a little more cheesy, if you will, and kind of leaned into the big boisterous nature of magic shows, right? And how they're kind of a little inauthentic, they're very campy, and then this latter half of the movie is kind of grounded and a little more serious.
Yeah, there's some interesting tonal shifts that I don't think quite gelled, but like the middle act was it dragged, especially when the
Yes.
investigation and stuff like that. Like I was kind of like, all right, where are we going with this? I thought Isla Fisher was incredibly underused, but when I looked up Uvia, our producer's trivia, turned out that
Mhm.
role was actually for a man. So like they revised it, and then I think they were just like, oh, we have to, like figure out something. I
Yep.
think it was a good choice to add a female character in that, but I wish they had given her some more agency and more to do. Because I love
Agreed.
Isla Fisher. I think she's
So do
hilarious.
I.
I think she's an
And she's
incredibly talented
beautiful.
actress. She is beautiful. But Justin and I
Mhm.
also like full disclosure. We have a huge thing for redheads, so we're like, it's just a bias that we have.
Not necessarily, but I mean, I like redheads too.
God, man, don't do this to
That's
me.
Brandon's thing, but okay. don't just lump me in.
Don't act like
both
you
of
don't
us
look at
do.
pictures of Poison Ivy every Saturday morning
I don't.
like you used to a Batman animated series. I know what you used to do, Justin. We talked about it offline. All right.
Okay.
It's not more on me, Uvia. Don't be doing
Hey,
this. We have
Brandon,
guests
you
right
been
now.
throwing to the
Calling
bus.
you out,
I know,
Brandon.
this is
Calling you
terrible.
out.
Nobody is standing with you on that one.
Jamel, would you believe I pay these people to be my friends? This is crazy. This is how they treat me.
And it brings a great chemistry to the room. It's
What
great.
do we think of Woody Harrelson in this movie? Because for me, I've been like, I could give or take him. Like I could have done without him, but like I thought he was just fine. What do y'all think?
I'll let Justin go first.
I don't. I it's kind of the same thing as Isla Fisher. Like I don't feel like he did much in his role. You know what I'm saying?
He had
Like
some quips, but that was
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and it's also just like he's kind of hitting on her, and it's like it kind of doesn't go anywhere. He has, he's not really cool with Jesse Eisenberg. Like, well, they immediately butt heads, but then it's just like that's kind of gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like things that were kind of set up. There was no payoff in anything. It
Yeah.
never came back. So like again, but it's just the writing in that sense.
I'm a little biased. Before I get into that, I ended up watching the extended version. Did you guys see that one?
There's an extended version?
There's an extended version. It even has an after credit scene where they're like in this warehouse. I have no idea what's going on. They're in this warehouse and they're like, "Oh, did you bring the card? Who's supposed to have the card?" And they all look at like Woody Harrelson's character, Merritt, and he just goes, "Oh well," and then it ends. Again, like there's like no real like payoff, but like
That's so weird.
yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah.
With that being said, I have a huge Woody Harrelson bias. I like him a lot as an actor.
Same.
Because I think he just brings his authentic self to every role, and I
Yeah.
believe him in everything he does. Like from this role, like even though everything he did, most of what he did, because like you had the show where they took the money of their sponsor, and then they like and he hypnotized the Vegas show, the guy at the Vegas show as well. But like most of the hypnotizing happened like off screen, and
Yep.
so like that's why it felt like he didn't really do much. I think, and so but whereas like for instance where they slipped the tracker into the pocket of Dylan, and he finds out he's tracking himself, that's something I would have loved to happen off screen, because it would have been a nice reveal if we find out he's tracking himself instead of this chase scene for 3 minutes and we already know, right? Like so we like knew that was coming, and so it was like, what's the point,
Yeah.
But with that being said, I love Woody Harrelson, especially in like the Hunger Games. Loved him in that, and I'm reading the most recent
Hey,
book as
Mitch.
well, which is about Hey Mitch, right? And so I just keep thinking of Woody Harrelson, but I think he's overall great. And so while his character may not have was underused in this film, I enjoyed seeing him there. For me, he was one of the standouts.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I really liked him. I liked him as a character. Could he have done
Yeah.
more? 100%.
Yeah.
Or should I say, could he have been given more?
Yeah.
I would have absolutely.
Far
yeah,
more.
I
I would have loved him to be more utilized. But even actually, but at the same time, if you really think about it, the Four Horsemen were not very much utilized as characters in this film. Because it was more of Mark Ruffalo's show here. We spent most of our time on him trying to investigate. Then we had the big overall. It's like, all right, how are we going to catch him doing this? Like we didn't dive deeper into those characters.
I wonder if that was a change from like maybe like focus groups, like test screenings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like you usually open with your main character and then you wrap up with them. And so for that to be Jesse Eisenberg, you would think, okay, we're following at least him. But to your point, Justin, we actually do learn more about Mark Ruffalo and even Maria Melanie Laurent's character, Alma, more than
Alma,
we do about the Four Horsemen. I think in the sequel we learn a little bit more about them.
Mhm.
But that's we'll get to that when we get to it. I do
Well,
think about
but
the Woody Harrelson. Oh, sorry.
No. And to your point, it's just like we learn about them through exposition
Yes.
from Mark Ruffalo's character.
Yeah.
He's like,
I mean,
oh,
which
you're
makes sense
this.
because he's the one
Yeah.
that orchestrated all this shit. So he's like, let me break
Yes.
it down. These people I'm manipulating. Again, how does he have the bandwidth? How does he even have the mental bandwidth to like keep track of all these different people and what they're supposed to be? Like the chase scene with Dave Franco to Lluvia saying magic.
You would beat me to it. I was gonna say
The whole
magic.
chase scene to the car to like him can be like, how would he know that he's able to steal that car? So then they had another duplicate car ready to go for that car crash on the bridge. Like the coordination.
He wrote the plans, maybe.
But the luck that would have had to happen is so insane. It's like we've seen another movie where we were like, the things that would have had to work that you can't even control for this heist to go off is like, Mark Ruffalo had to have plans on plans on plans.
Yeah. And Dave Franco's character is fucking Jason Bourne. Like he was beating up FBI agents.
He was tied up people and stuff. I'm like, oh, you going to jail, Joe? You get caught.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're gonna beat you by the docks.
Oh, there's a reason you have to fake your death. They will never stop hunting you. It's over.
Yeah, I think I would have also liked to see a little more. Do you remember in the interrogation rooms where Mark Ruffalo's character like stands up and reaches for Jesse Eisenberg's character, Daniel, and he like flicks the handcuffs onto his wrist.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to see a little more like stuff like that. That was really cool. And
yeah, I like that too.
I would be okay with an argument saying that was like one of the cooler aspects and the more action-packed, if you will, aspects of it. Because like that was a trick that they never, correct me if I'm wrong, never really explained how that happened, right? Or how that worked.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. The Dave Franco, I keep going back to the Dave Franco fight scene with Mark Ruffalo because to me it was most entertaining action sequence, I think, in the whole movie because it leads to the chase scene and the car and stuff. But like, James Franco goes behind a curtain and then like disappears and then he's like flipping on a bar over Mark Ruffalo and he's throwing cards at him like he's fucking Gambit. I was like, this is cool, but this is nonsensical.
I'm sorry, not Dave. Dave Franco is Nightcrawler in this film. Like,
just keeps giving him different superhero names.
No, but he it's like Nightcrawler in the fucking Oval Office when he tried to kill the president. He's like, poof, poof, kick this motherfucker. Poof, I'm up here. Poof. I'm like, what?
Which, quick aside, real quick, Alan Cummings is returning as Nightcrawler in Avengers Doomsday.
Yes, he is.
The only reason you do that is if you have plans, a scene that's going to top that, which I am like, I'm down for that. If I don't know. That's the thing. Is that scene was so incredible the first time I saw it in the movie theater. But if they have something planned that they can top that, you take all my money.
That was the second one, right?
What?
That was the second X-Men movie.
When he came in, yeah.
But what were we gonna say?
I'm a huge Marvel buff. Comics, movies. You get me started, I will not stop. But all I will say is, in the Russo brothers, we trust.
I hope so.
Like everything they worked on, like from Winter Soldier to Civil War to Infinity War, Endgame, like people still talk about that, and it set this bar for Marvel that everything post Endgame is just that to people, right? Not as good as Endgame. Really that was actually the best movie since Endgame. That's the bar that Marvel has for all of their projects now.
Yep. Yeah, it's a hard place to be. That's why I always say, like, man, we really had it good. Like, it's almost like the last line in Don't Look Up with Leonardo DiCaprio was like, man, we really had everything. But okay, one last point about Doomsday. I think if they open with Josh Brolin coming back as Thanos and you get the iconic Dr. Doom takes him out.
Oh, like
show because remember Avengers Infinity War, how do you show that Thanos is a bad motherfucker? You have him take out the Hulk immediately. You just have the big bad from Endgame. Yeah, I took him out in 20 seconds. Boom.
Now, do you think they should do what they did in the comics?
Yeah, they have to do that. They have to.
Ooh. Yeah, I would love to see how they're gonna adapt that for the screen because obviously they want to keep it PG-13, right?
Yeah, they'll just show him vaporized.
Rip his shit out. I would love it. I'm here for it.
They did chop off Thanos' head in Endgame.
Yeah, but they didn't show it.
I mean, it was pretty the blood splattered and stuff. It was pretty
Yeah, so
gnarly,
I
bro.
get it. I guess there's a line that
Yeah.
you can not cross, right? And so
Yeah.
like Doom ripping out Thanos' spine
Yeah.
is, I guess, doable.
To that point, there should have been way more bloodshed in this movie. Like,
Yes.
like the especially Dave Franco. Dave Franco got kind of jacked up. Like he was fighting people, but he was also like running around and like getting banged up and stuff. Like it's kind of crazy how like they were just like at the end they're like, "Whew, that was a wild Saturday." like Jesus, guys.
Yeah, I think as you know, I had some really fun moments. I think it was a little safer than I would have liked. Just because you are like messing with the FBI, you know, and even if and the FBI, right? And so like and so even
Which
if
FBI?
yeah, I remember seeing this in the theaters by myself, Lluvia. I that was around the time I was just taking myself to see everything, and I saw Now You See Me for the first time in theaters as a kid. When did it come out? Like 2018,
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was how old was I? Like I was turning 17, and so
Oh wow.
uh
Oh, I
maybe no
wish.
18. I was turning 18, and so I was
Oh man, to
and
be
so I
18
went
in
to
2013, that would have been beautiful.
I think I totally just dated myself, but
In a good way. Justin and I over here with grays in our hairs, like, hey,
This is a choice.
Sometimes when I'm in the barber chair, I see a gray hair on the like
the apron, yeah.
cover. Yeah, I'm like, is that mine or is that the last guy's? And I get worried every single time. But
I'd be
And then
worried
your
for
barber
Puzzle,
says,
yeah.
"There's more coming, young blood."
right, he just slapped me on the shoulder, and I just sit there crying for the rest of the cut. But yeah. So I think like again, you're messing with the FBI. Like even if there was one person who was just ready to absolutely like go ballistic when fighting one of these people, that would have made a lot of sense. Because you know, thinking back and like knowing that Dylan is on their side, like was so obviously Dylan was in on it, but was Dave Franco in on the fight, or was he genuinely fighting?
No.
for his
Remember,
life?
he apologizes when they get to the carousel. He's like, "Hey, I'm. Oh shit, it's you. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I jacked you
So
up."
he didn't know, right?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
so
yeah.
like
They're all surprised.
right, exactly. And so like even if like at that point like Dave drew more blood when fighting Mark Ruffalo, that would have been even more believable, you know?
Yeah,
Yep.
but to the point, I mean, I guess we got to watch the sequel now because I'm like, how do
Yep.
they continue their lives? Like, they are all like wanted. Like, they're criminals.
Yeah.
Fugitives.
They're robbing banks. I mean, they were giving it back to the people, but like, come on now. Like, what's happening here? If this is a real world situation, I saw a news story about 4 white magicians that stole from banks and pulled off these heists and stuff and like doing this Robin Hood shit. I'd be like, okay, cool. But like, you just said they assaulted police officers, got like, caused like a tens of thousands of dollars in damage and stuff, and they're just living free.
That's a really good
What are
point
we
because all
doing?
the money they like. But that's the thing, like the Robin Hood stuff. Can we talk about that for a second? Because they had that whole elaborate plan, like the mirror room and everything,
Yeah.
to steal that vault. But like, I think it was revealed that the money was fake.
Well, they used that to frame Morgan Freeman. So in
Right, 'cause they
that
put it all in
heist,
his
the money
car.
was planted in his truck or
That's right.
whatever. But
Right.
then that whole heist, it was fun to watch, but I was just like, this is
Mhm.
nonsensical. I mean, the director Lewis Litterer, he's done the Transporter movies. He did the most recent,
Yeah.
the last 2 Fast and Furious movies. There's no logic there's no science. You know what I mean?
That's a
So
good point.
he's just
That's
like,
a
let's
good
have a
point.
good time, guys.
Yeah.
I got almost
Um,
$100 million budget. Let's have a good time.
that's it. And UV, are you referring to the most recent one that's coming out next week? Is it? Now You See Me, Now You Don't,
Yeah, in the
or
chat she said worst sequel name ever. No, the
no? The second.
second. What's the second called?
Yeah, I thought it was just Now You See Me Too. Is there another one? Oh, like
It's called
oh,
Now
that's
You
it.
See Me Too.
yeah, Now You See Me
So
Too.
like
And then the third one's called
yeah,
Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
if you could have had a different title, missed the opportunity for
Yeah,
what would it have been?
what would like what you don't see me?
Yeah. That would have been pretty. That would have been. Wait, you
Yes,
see?
yes.
Yeah.
There
You
you go.
don't see me? Oh my god.
You don't see me.
You don't see me.
Now you see me. Now you don't. Okay, yeah, I get it. That could have been used a lot sooner.
I keep going back to
And
what
it's
y'all
just
talked
John
about.
Cena going like this.
That's the poster. It's not
You
even the
can't
full
see me.
opening. It
That'd be
does not do
amazing.
it.
I wrote down my notes. I wrote down two things that I want to make sure I mention before we get to letterbox reviews. One, I wrote down I miss my BlackBerry because Mark Ruffalo's character had a BlackBerry phone. And I was like, damn,
yeah.
that was the time.
Yeah.
That's before
Yes.
iPhone. That's when life was simpler. And then I wrote down that guy, the one cop who he's like in he was in The Penguin and House of Cards. I'm blanking on the actor's name. But he got caught in the garbage disposal during that fight scene with Dave Franco and Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
He had to shoot. He had to shoot bullets into the garbage disposal to get free. I was like, "That's a thing." Like,
No.
killed?
He pulled it out.
He
had to
shot a
bullet.
gun.
He shot a bullet into the garbage
He
disposal.
shot
and got
a
him
bullet to
free.
stop it.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, he like moved and got his gun and shot into the garbage disposal.
How would he be? Okay. That's just
That's
crazy.
why I wrote down. I was like, what?
I must have just glossed over that because I thought it's just like he had to like put extra all his strength to pull out, which then kind of jammed it up.
No.
Oh, that's
He
wild.
shot a gun into it, which is very in the vein of like, again, they're fun movies. They have a great following, like Fast and the Furious movies and stuff. Like some interesting things happen, like Dominic Toretto picking up a car with one arm.
Yep.
God,
Yep.
yeah,
Don't get me started. Dude, don't
Yo.
get me started.
Yeah, we fucked up. We really fucked up.
Why?
Because
How?
before we were asked, were there any other black people in this movie? And we just talked about Morgan Freeman. But I mean, to be fair, that's how forgettable he is in this movie. Common is in this movie, and he's technically Mark Ruffalo's boss.
Yeah.
But you guys are really
To what Justin has been saying, this right? Even Lluvia forgot. But to what Justin has been saying the whole time is like these characters were so underutilized,
Yes,
right? Common
yes.
makes a couple of appearances here and there, but it's like
in every
to
damn
what
movie.
end? Like the most interesting things are happening to the white characters and Morgan Freeman. And so, if Common had he was in a bigger. Not I don't want to say bigger part because I don't want to define roles as big or small.
Yeah.
But if he was given more to do, like I think he would have been much more easily. That role would have been much more easily remembered.
I have a feeling that was a cutting room situation. You know what I mean? Like
Possibly.
Because why else would he do this movie to be in like 3 scenes? You know, I mean, I always think about that when I see actors there, like because I just saw Tron Eris, right?
Yeah.
And Dominic, Cameron Monaghan from like Shameless and the Star Wars game and like Gotham. He was in it, like he's credited in it. He literally is in one scene, has no lines, and I was like, that has to be a cutting room situation. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, for
But
sure.
but at the same time, you also have to look at where was Common in his acting career at that point.
I think this is around Terminator Salvation time, which wasn't a great time.
Exactly. Also, I just saw a comment at the airport about like 2 months ago. Like the airport, huh?
Did you say hi?
No, I didn't say hi to him because that nigga was running.
Just got so haunting.
I know. You just you say hi. Did you say hi?
I was hoping for a I spoke to Common story.
Well, no, because it was clear he was trying to get out of there as quickly as possible before anybody recognized him. But he did a terrible job because he tried to get to the front of the TSA line when he clearly had global entry, and the global entry wasn't working. And I was just like, nah, brother, you one of us today. You one of us today.
I respect that you respected that he was clearly trying to not be seen. And I just want to give a formal apology to Kevin Hart when I was 15 and I stopped him because he clearly wanted to get out of the airport and I held that man up and everyone noticed and they followed him out of the airport.
Yeah, that's
Kevin
the
Hart, I'm
worst.
sorry.
That's the worst one, to just try to make a quick exit and then someone's like, Kevin. You're like,
Are you
wait,
Kevin Hart?
hold on. I got an airport story. So I was in Pittsburgh and I was coming from Pittsburgh and I was flying back to New York, right? And as I'm boarding the plane, I see the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, boarding the same plane as me. Now, some people say that Mike Tomlin looks very much like Omar Epps, who I've also been told I look like Omar Epps. And at the time, I was wearing a fucking hat and I had a thicker beard on at the time. And I didn't have these grays. So I'm sitting on the plane. Mike Tomlin's obviously sitting in first class, and all throughout the flight, kids are going up and getting his autograph and things like that. I'm just sleeping in the back. Get off the plane. People are waiting around the carousel for Mike I'm assuming Mike Tomlin. I walk over and people thought I was Mike Tomlin for a second. And I'm just like, it's like, no. And they're bum rushing me. Mike Tomlin grabs his bag and gives me like a sorry, nigga, and runs out of the fucking airport.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I was like, you son of a bitch. I took one for Mike Tomlin.
Damn, he should have hired you as a cover for him.
Like a body double or something.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Bro,
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? But it's great. It's great.
It happens. Real quick before we read some letterbox reviews about Now You See Me, our producer Lluvia put some trivia that I thought we should share. This movie had a budget of $75 million. It made $351.7 million, hence why it's had now 2 sequels at this point. The original opening card trick is real and unedited, using a card force technique where the magician makes the spectator pick a predetermined card. All right, cool. Okay. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jim Carrey, Hugh Grant, and Sacha Baron Cohen were all considered for lead roles before casting younger actors. That's crazy.
That would have been a very different movie.
Yes.
But also I think that would have been, having like a bunch of magicians who are like a bit older, so they're probably a little bit more cynical and like angry. I think that would have worked a little bit better. Like, I actually like that concept.
I would have loved to see that. I would love to see that.
Jake Gyllenhaal was considered for the role of Dylan Rhodes. And then Olivia Wilde was offered a role, probably the Isla Fisher role.
Yeah, I look at his,
and she actually, Mrs. Fisher actually almost drowned during the piranha tank scene when her handcuff chains got stuck, preventing her from reaching the surface or pulling the emergency lever. The crew initially thought her distress was acting until the stunt coordinator noticed something was wrong. Jeez. I mean, that happens when you play around with water sometimes. I mean, think about Deep Blue Sea. All those dudes almost drowned when that water tank exploded.
I mean, first of all, imagine you are drowning and everyone outside the tank is like, wow, this person's really good. keep the camera rolling. Keep the camera rolling. Like, awful. And like, how often does it happen in movies like you were saying, Brandon? Like, even in, I think it was Anyone But You, the Sydney Sweeney had the spider scene, right?
Okay.
And the spider actually bit her and she's screaming and everyone was like, wow, that's really good. And it was and Glenn Powell was like, no, wait, she's actually being bitten. Yeah. And so they came in, they had to grab the spider really quickly so that it would stop.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I just saw a thing in trivia with Scream where Neve Campbell hits Ghostface with the phone, and he I guess you really hit that nigga, and he did not expect it. It was like, help me, please. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious if Ghostface was like, help. Lord, I know I just tried to stab you, but help me. I think I got a concussion. All right.
To make another scary movie, I hope they put that in.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But it's completely on brand for Ghostface. He's such a almost like a comic book kind of killer. Like the way he just like slams through doors and like trips over a couch when he's chasing his victim.
Yeah. I used to have a joke about it, but then people would just stare at me, like, because I would try to talk about Scream, but like, just looking for their friend that's concussed. Like all he does is stumble over things and get hit in the face. But people were just like, what? They're like, what's this black dude yelling at me about Jada Pinkett Smith?
Y'all ain't paying attention. Y'all ain't paying attention.
That's what I should do going forward. Just whenever a joke doesn't hit, I just be like, y'all not paying attention.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Y'all ain't paying attention. See?
That's it.
I ain't the problem.
So Lluvia pulled some letterbox reviews for Now You See Me. The first one's from Sriracha Chuchu. They wrote, thought it was just going to be like Ocean's 11 with magicians, but it's actually about a world that revolves around magicians who are all basically mutants. Low key, one of the crazier movies I've seen. 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Nightcrawler.
Wait, they only gave it 3.5 after all that?
Yeah. Because to be fair, when you see a picture, you see a poster of like these 4 actors, you're not thinking like they're going to have like superhero level powers. You're gonna think, oh, maybe logical magic shit, but then you're like, oh wait, this is even David Blaine shit. This is like another level. Next is from Kate, who wrote, where were these guys as Hogwarts letters? 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's fair. They would. Oh yeah, they would definitely all be in Gryffindor. Okay.
Here he
Russman said,
goes.
"Now I've seen it. Wish I didn't." 2 out of 5 stars. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually. All right.
Can I please
Yes.
read one of the reviews that is the complete antithesis to what Justin was saying earlier?
Sure.
Low key want Jesse Eisenberg to do 52 tricks on me.
I mean, some women find him attractive. Some people find him
Listen,
attractive. You know, you never know.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I saw Jesse Eisenberg in Penn Station. He ain't that guy.
I've seen all these celebrities.
Oh, I've seen a tons
It's
of
New
them.
York.
I've seen
It's
Woody
New York.
Harrelson a tons. Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But yeah, Jesse Eisenberg ain't the guy. He ain't the guy. He ain't the guy. He is not the guy. I saw him. I was just like,
Jesus.
Doesn't he have a family?
I mean, everybody got a family.
So listen,
Some
everybody needs love.
Yeah, like I was talking about like a wife and kids, not like
Everybody got, you know.
not like a mom and stuff.
I mean,
he's a child. So I mean, all I'm
Yeah.
saying is he can clearly be that guy.
yeah. I mean, sometimes everybody needs love and everybody gets love, Justin. That's what we should be hoping for in this world, in this dark, dark world.
Listen, Mark Zuckerberg's got a wife, okay? That don't mean shit. You got some money. There's somebody who's going to give you some.
Oh, boy. All right. It's a me, Derico wrote, how can a movie have so many long, drawn-out expositional monologues attempting to explain literally every plot point and yet still make absolutely no sense? 2.5 out of 5 stars. That's fair. That is very fair.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I feel like you niggas are trying to trick me with words, and it's not working. Like, Lily wrote, now why'd they cast Jesse Eisenberg as the hot magician? So they concur with Justin on this one. 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's just say I think we'd get even votes on both sides.
We would. And then last but not least, Brianna wrote, the greatest magic trick pull was all these actors saying yes to being in this movie. Damn. All right. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Justin, haven't said that. Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
What
Stop
was
calling me
the
baby.
stars that they gave it?
They gave it no stars.
Oh,
yeah,
yikes.
no stars.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted the
No worries.
rating.
No.
Yeah, Justin,
So this how
break down
we
our
do
rating
this.
system, baby.
Stop calling me baby, Brandon.
You
So
can't
how
stop
we
me.
do this?
We're not in the same room. You can't make me do anything.
Well, we'll see. We'll see
Baby.
when I nightcrawler through your fucking window and kick you into a wall.
Justin, if you had
and then
Nightcrawler powers, you would not be doing a podcast with me. You'd be robbing banks right now.
I mean, you are
Damn.
probably
Give him
correct.
some credit.
I am not saving niggas. I am saving my bank account. I'm not going into foreclosure.
This is why humanity doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah,
Because I
it'd be
Yep.
a problem. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the only thing I don't like about The Boys. Is like, you know, all these people with superhero powers should be using for crimes. Like, let's just be real. But
Yeah.
And that's the theme of it, right?
Yeah.
Like the superheroes aren't on these pedestals that we put them on.
Nope.
They aren't these
Yep.
shimmering, glowing beacons of hope.
Yeah, they're shitty people who have a leg up over everyone else.
yeah. But Justin,
All
tell
right.
us how we rate these movies, baby.
Stop calling me baby, Brandon. That's the third time you tried it. All right. So, you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, Mr. Lewis, what say you, sir?
Oh damn, putting me on the spot. I go first. I would give it a medium.
Okay.
Medium.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. Brandon?
You know what? I'm going to give it a medium too. It drags a lot in the middle act, but I will say, like, there's some sequences where I'm like, that's fun. That's like a fun movie scene. Like, I would probably rewatch that on YouTube or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's an attractive cast. It's not like terrible. Like, they're not terrible to look at, but like, you know, and it's, you know, they got good actors. Michael Caine's in this movie. We haven't even talked about that. Like, it's
Yeah.
not
It's
like
a
they
pretty
had.
stacked cast, right?
Yeah, it's not like they had like.
Why
you know,
do we do
slim
magic,
pickings.
Mr. Wine?
Oh my god, yo, his face when like, you know, like it's getting revealed that he's getting outed with his company and like their nefarious deeds. That reminded me of when Denzel in a flight when Don Cheadle was like, so here are the toxology reports that show that you were out like drunk on the plane, and he's just like, He's just
he was drinking the shit out of that water.
Oh, then he asked for a cinnamon bun. He's like, I'll take one of those. I need
I'm gonna get one of them cinnamon buns, okay?
Justin, what's your rating?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be the guy, and I'm gonna give this a small. I think that they could have done a better job at building these characters to make them, just give them more to do. Our magicians, meaning, and because we are getting more of Mark Ruffalo's character, stuff like that. It's like I think they needed to flip it a little bit to give them a little bit more, which I can't think would have kept the viewers. It would have quelled the lulls in the film.
How did you guys feel, if I may,
Yeah.
about his last line? What I didn't anticipate was you, to Alma at the end.
I hated that whole storyline. I thought it was corny. I was like, that's where we were going this whole time. Like, Mark Ruffalo is not a romantic lead guy. Like, it's such a weird thing that they try to do in the early 2000s where he did all these romantic comedies, like 13 Going on 30 and stuff. It just doesn't work for me. And he actually admitted that in an interview not too long ago. He was like, I went from being a leading man to a character actor. But he laughed about it. But like, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, that's just my thought. Those are
no. I think that's very valid. I was, if I may, that was a little. The only thing I didn't anticipate was a little confusing for me. Just because it didn't seem like. Don't get me wrong. You could kind of see that there was a little something there, but I think that line, it's the writing. Again, I think Mark Ruffalo is great. I love him as an actor. I think we'd be friends. Mark?
Mark, if you're watching.
You know what? I love Mark Ruffalo because he still has a career after spoiling Endgame or Infinity War.
Right?
And like,
I'm surprised nothing more happened than
I think they had to keep moving.
Don Cheadle saying "Stop it."
I think they had to keep pushing forward to not draw attention to it, because if you know, you know. But if you didn't know about the interview, you're just like, I don't know what the thing. But Don Cheadle's face when you watch that video is like, he's like,
nigga. If niggas could nigga on the stage, he was like, nigga.
Mark Ruffalo just really nervous. He's like,
trying to recover, and he was like, dude, just drop it.
Yeah, he's like, am I in trouble? He's like, probably.
Yeah. And so the line felt unearned. Like you guys said, like, I wish some of the more of the characters were developed. I wish that.
Oh yeah, you're a writer director. You just said earned. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, thank you. I wish that was fleshed out a little more, and like less exposition and more like show don't tell. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun movie. I just feel like they were doing a lot, and it could have been done a little differently, but fun. Love the cast, and it was everyone was doing their thing as best as they could.
Okay, so just one thing. Hold on, just one thing. When she popped up at the hotel room, when he after the whole big thing and didn't work out, right? Mm-hmm. And she's in that little nightgown and she got her stuff all out. You tell me that ain't in a smash? You know what I'm saying? Show me. That's where that should have happened right there. Like, that's where they should have hooked up. When they were talking,
he had other things to focus on. He's juggling literally many balls.
But that was supposed to be the sexy scene. That was supposed to bring them together. Like, that's when it's supposed to happen. Like, they either need to go there or they don't.
I could see that. Right. Or even at the very least, really start the makings of that. Even if he kind of indulged a little bit, then he was like, I got things to do. And then he ran
exactly.
off. Then the kiss and the line would have paid off a little more.
Yeah, it's like, and so that the ending, because that scene didn't lead to anything. They went, it was like, and then they walk, and it's like, there's no way after all that adrenaline that was pushed in that day, and then you end off on that, and it doesn't turn into these two police officers, just cracking. Like, I don't know.
All right, well. That was a Justin Brown rant right there.
No, but it's not.
Well, very strongly about that scene.
We're like wrapping up, and Justin's like, now what they should have done is fucking that nightgown scene. Y'all don't understand. You're not paying attention.
How many police officers you actually know?
Too many, actually.
Too many.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you what police officers are really like?
All right. Jamel, please tell our listeners how they can follow you and keep up with what you're doing, man.
Come again, sorry. I was still stuck on the.
I know,
He's
he's
like,
insane.
I want to
It's-
hear this story.
Yeah, it's short circuited. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social medias and keep up with your projects.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. So you can follow me at Jati Lewis on Instagram, and that is JATTILEWIS, where I update regularly as to what's going on as they happen, of course, not when they're happening, because then that would spoil the surprise and then give everybody not a reason to follow me. I also have a website, and obviously in IMDb, where you may be able to see my company's email address, because I do have a production company as well that is getting all this stuff done.
Congrats and everything.
All right.
Really
Thank you very much.
amazing
I
things you're doing.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Folks, as always, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms, mediumpopcorn.com for YouTube, Patreon, coffee, all the links you need to meet your medium popcorn needs. Go to mediumpopcorn.com. Be sure to go to youtube.com/medium popcorn podcast. Push that subscribe button to get alert about all future reviews and celebrity interviews, because it's award season, so we're doing a lot of interviews, and so you can get alerts about those. And then, as always, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads, FrodoBlackens.com for show dates. I got some stuff popping up before the end of the year, so check that out. And there's some Drum Black History dates in 2026, so check those out as well. And then, Justin, if people want to follow you as well as support the show financially, what can they do, my brother?
Guys, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all the social media platforms, but you can support this show. Show us a little love on Patreon, patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog is on Patreon. So if you're looking for something special, Patreon's where it's at. We also have bonus episodes. We have mini episodes, guys. Patreon.com/medium popcorn.
There you go. Slap it up, put it down. Everybody get around. Jamel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah. All right, folks. We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Indeed. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.